Amitakuape. Betuashte. Hello, my relatives. Today is a good day. Again. Now, funny how they always start out that way, isn't it? And then Obama comes in the picture. And then something else comes in the picture. Yeah. The banksters. Or some other idiotic thing that is screwing up the world. Ruins the rest of your day. At any rate, my friends, I'm going to talk about the book that Byard Johnson and myself have written concerning the American Indian philosophy. The book is entitled, If You Have Forgotten the Names of the Clouds, You've Lost the Way. If you have forgotten the names of the clouds, you've lost your way. All right. That's at the end of this. Before that, I want to talk about a few things. Just touch generally on subjects I've touched before, but it doesn't hurt to remind you, because maybe there's a Republican watching, maybe there's a Democrat watching, you know? Those people who maybe are coming out of their brain deadness and realizing that it's the Republicans and the Democrats equally that have robbed us of our democracy, and they have to be booted out before it's too late, before George Orwell quits rolling in his grave. And now, one of the things I want to talk about is the death penalty. Now, if there's a sanctity of life, especially those professed by the anti-abortion people, the pro-life people, that's a good moniker, pro-life. Just think they're for life. But you've got to be pro-life through the entire spectrum. What about the death penalty? The only advanced nation that still has a death penalty. Hello? You call yourself civilized? What's the difference of saving embryos' lives or mature lives? There's none. They're human beings, right? You know, it's nothing more than human sacrifice. Get that. The death penalty is nothing more than human sacrifice. Blech. What it is, you've got religion, ritual, and an audience. A congregation, if you will. Think of that. Think of it. It's sick. The death penalty. Get real. And it's a proven fact that people have been put to death wrongly. It's a proven fact. I think every one of them put to death wrongly, whether they were guilty of a crime or not. And as we know, a lot of them weren't guilty of the crime. So to be sure, to be safe, that the sanctity of life, pro-life, is maintained, you have to cut out all executions. Period. Hello, it's simple arithmetic. One mistake is forever. Wow. Now, back to the murderer. Obama. Well, he is a murderer. He has passed an edict that he can kill anyone. Then after he's killed them, they have to prove they weren't militants. They have to prove it. That's what those drone strikes are in Pakistan. They go in, kill people. Everyone is deemed a militant. How convenient, huh? For your war stats. And then those dead people have to prove that they weren't militant in order to be classified as civilian casualties. And then he goes and kills, and we've said this before, a 16 and a 17-year-old boys. Boys! 16 and 15, excuse me. 16 and 15-year-old boys. He murdered with a drone strike. Understand, he knows every time a drone strike is targeting an American citizen, he has to be told according to his own law. Human sacrifice and a murderous president. Wow. Wow. You know what? If you continue along this path, you're going to get Romney. Or stay with the murderer. Who's worse? Democrats or Republicans? You know they're for the rich. And yet you're still voting for them. Not one Democrat, not one Republican should receive a vote in this coming election. That's if you have a brain and a heart and connect the two. By the way, Western science, in case you don't know, has just ascertained that there is, through their testing, that there is an emotional, electrical connection between the heart and the brain. So that, do it from the heart. The other issue is the banksters. I mean, Europe, they know that, you know what the governments are doing? Merkel, Hollande, and the rest of them. The rest of them are, what they're doing, of course, is finally taking private debt that the banksters incurred, that the governments incurred, and taking that, and they've done it illegally. And they're taking that private debt and they're putting it on the public. Look at Greece, Spain, Italy, Ireland, England, the United States of America, Japan, all these debtor nations. They're taking private debt and then laying it on you and me. Wow. Well, now I want to completely change saddles here. I want to read you the foreword to our book. If you've forgotten the names of the clouds, you've lost the way. My people are losing their language. That's why I named that. They're losing the language. We used to have names, 52, back when we were free people. 52 different kinds of clouds would come across the northern plains, the U.S. northern plains. And that, coupled with the wind, we could accurately tell the weather for up to 2 days. So we wrote this book. And here I want to read you the foreword. The reason we decided to write this book is because the trickster has completely tricked my people. The trickster, or the Iktomi, has come into our land and completely colonized the Lakota Nation. In February of this year, I cut my hair in mourning. This was for my own people who are dead and are only play acting at being Indians. Only a few even realize that they are colonized. The Heyoka, the spirit and the man who lives in the man, is the one who lives backwards. He actually lives backwards. He's a teacher. Has come into our land now and is trying to get the people out of this death condition, but it's not working. The people are not learning or listening. Sad. My great-grandma Aggie, my grandma Twinklestar, my Auntie Faith, my mother, my grandpa John Feather, and many others too numerous to name, all taught me many things. What they didn't teach me was that as the oldest brother, I was supposed to pass this knowledge on down to my younger brothers. I didn't do it because I didn't know. Not until I joined the American Indian Movement, AIM, did I come to realize this. When I joined AIM, I was fortunate then to meet the old people. Those who were born in the latter part of the 1800s and had never been to school and were raised by people who were born free. So this book is an introduction to the matrilineal way of life, the philosophy of indigenous people. I hope you enjoy it. First you gotta buy it, and it's an online book. Look it up.